All right, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it says 94 there. I was just looking at the district dashboard again because a whole bunch of names do show up under me when I sort by that, December 18th through today and no DC and yes volunteer. But a bunch of them, and I don't know if I should work with George or somebody on this, when you look at the lower district, there's a whole bunch in there that for some reason are showing up under when I do that sort on my district dashboard, but they're Indiana District 73, 90, 36, 98, and those aren't mine, right? I have one. Yeah, so somehow those got, okay. I got access to those or whatever, but I can, so what I did is just go to the lower and just put like a 1 in, right? And then it shows me all the people within that date range and a yes and a no in District 1, right? And then I did it for 2, 3, 4. So when I did it that way, I had 24 names in those 11 districts. And so I called 10 of them and left 5 emails for people who didn't have a phone. I found a few like that, too, that had the wrong zip code, but they had the right city and state, and they were, down south of Indianapolis, so I changed the zip code, and it probably reassigned them into a new district. I spoke to really just 2 of them so far, and the one guy is interested. I told him he wants to find out more, that kind of thing, so I told him all the stuff he could look at Convention of States and the, Mark Levin Liberty Amendments and all that stuff. So I'm going to check back with him. I told him after he checks it, if he's interested, to go to the apply for DC section, but I'll have to follow up with him. So that's kind of where I am at right now.
Okay. All right. All right. I want to talk to you.
Hey, Dale, this is Tim. Could I make a comment?
Yeah.
About what Peter said about changing a zip code. The best thing to do if you change somebody's zip code, the new dashboard has an excellent district lookup. Right above their address, there's a button that says district lookup. So if you change their address and hit that button and then insert that, it updates their record for them.
That's what I did. Yeah, I put in.
Okay, great.
I had find this guy's district, and it looked it up and found his upper and lower, and then I saved it, and I put a comment in there too. So.
Excellent. I thought you thought maybe it was automatic, but you did it the right way. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Tim.
I don't know if you count my one interest there, Dale, but he's interested, but not really interested enough to say, yeah, I'll go sign up to be a DC.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Now, well, we can talk after the call, Peter. But this number 94 that I got here for your region,
yeah,
I went district by district in your region, and just added up the number of volunteers that showed for each district. So I don't know where.
Well, is it because of the date range or the yes, they volunteered and no, they don't have a DC? I thought that's how we were supposed to select them out. I could just call all the volunteers if that's the way. I thought we were
supposed to sort on yes volunteers.
Yep.
No district captain.
Right.
And then you click on up in the upper left-hand column, and it sorts all by recent date.
Right. I mean, I just did a date range December 18th through today, through the day I was calling. And if that was
no, you don't input a date range. You just click on the. We'll talk about this
okay.
offline here. Okay.
All
right. Okay, guys. Thanks for your numbers. We got to keep going here now. As you can see on the sheet here, where my cursor is, there's 20 districts down here that we haven't even addressed yet. So we'll be working on those then for the rest of the month. Some of you district captains that have finished your calls, we may be asking you to help not maybe, we will be asking you to help with these additional districts down here, because our goal, once again, now just keep in mind, we want to try and complete this by the end of February, if at all possible. We want to get this done by the end of February. I wanted to mention to you also, we're talking to volunteers here. We're calling volunteers. Well, there is another type of volunteer. There are two types of volunteers, and of course, the ones that we're calling are the ones that have indicated in Citizen Builder that they want to volunteer, but they're not specifying anything in particular. So if you have someone that you think wants to be a super volunteer, someone that wants to go above and beyond just being considered a volunteer, you direct them to our website. Hope you can see this now. And just like directing them to fill out the district captain application, you have them click on Take Action, go down to Become a Leader. Of course, there's the district captain information and application. But further down here, there is a box to apply as a volunteer. Now, what this does, it gives the volunteer options that they can pick and choose what they want to do, task or activities that they prefer to engage in. So for the person that's really, really serious about volunteering but doesn't want to take on a leadership role, direct them to this volunteer application. Okay, any questions on that? Okay. All right, let's go back. Let's see if I can get back to the agenda. Okay, here's something I want you to make note of. We are making a change. In order to get through the rest of these calls, we're going to make a change here in our procedure, and that change is we're only asking you to make one phone call. And if you have to leave a voicemail message, then do so. But then a few days later, if you haven't heard back, go ahead and send the email. So we're doing away with the second phone call. And this should save you some time in getting through your districts and getting through what we're trying to accomplish here. Anybody have any questions on that?
Yes. Is there a template for the email? Because I noticed I tried to send an email, and there was a drop-down for templates.
Yeah, there are two templates. Is this Mary?
Yes.
There are two templates in there, Mary, and we'll George, you want to get that to her when you get a chance? Let her know what the templates are.
Yeah, sure will, Dale. Not a problem.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and it's very slick. You just you put the subject in there, you click on the template, it addresses it, everything, and you just send it, and it automatically makes a note in Citizen Builder under their record. Okay, was someone else having a question?
Yeah, this is Rodney. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that when they call somebody to put it in the phone note on there so everybody else knows they've been contacted and what happened, either voicemail or could you contact them.
That's a good point. He's saying if you have to make leave a message, then leave a note on that in that record that you made that call, so the next person will know that someone's been tried to contact them. The next thing I wanted to show you was our comms team is hard at work for us, and I asked them to put together a video to help with our DC recruitment effort. And I want to play this for you. It's only a little over a minute. And this is currently on our Facebook page. So take a look at this. Hope you can see it all right. How about that, huh?
Looks good.
That is good. I'll tell you, that's Ken Kashuba and the comms team putting that together for us. So, and they've got more to come to help drive even more people into Convention Estates. Okay, the next thing I wanted to go over, some things that we've learned in making the calls, and I want you to let us know if there are some things that you've learned, you know, some tips, some words of advice that you've learned in making your calls. Please feel free to add to my list here. But first of all, one of the things we found out that calling during the day is turning out to be just as good as calling in the evening. And all I can surmise is that that's because apparently most of these phone numbers are all mobile phone numbers, so people will answer them during the day as well as the evening. So don't worry about trying to wait till the evening to make your calls. Make them anytime you want during the day. Another thing, a lot of people I find are familiar with what we're doing, familiar with what we are, but their knowledge is very shallow. So you need to be able to, you know, touch on the main topics, the main things, the basics of what we're trying to do, because their knowledge is going to be typically very shallow. Good to be a good listener. Don't do all the talking. When the person you're calling wants to talk, be a good listener. Ask for their patience now, because especially this is when you get a really interested party, and they've agreed to go to the website and make application. Please ask them for their patience, because we're going to get them into a training program, and we're hoping that we're going to be able to roll that out the end of this month or the 1st of March. So ask them to be patient with us. And we are finding that the phone calls are in fact the best way to contact these people, especially the people that just signed our petition in the last 30 days. There's no doubt about it. They are the most interested in what we're calling them about. Another thing is, if you're the caller, and if you're using other people to make these calls, they must have a basic knowledge of the district captain duties. That will be a typical question from anyone that has any interest in what you're talking about in being a district captain. They're going to ask, well, what do I have to do? So as a caller, you need to have some basic knowledge of the duties of the district captain. Legislative relationships, growing the grassroots, educating themselves and the public on the Constitution and Article 5. Okay? Then the other thing I just want to mention is that even after we get through all these calls, this has got to be an ongoing process here by region captains as well as the recruiting team, because we're going to have people coming in to the district dashboard all the time. So we've got to continue to do what we're doing here. Anybody else have any other tips or things that they've learned that might be helpful?
Yeah, Dale, this is
Hello?
one thing I found to be seemed to be pretty helpful to me was right off the bat, I like to ask people what in particular motivated them to sign the petition in the first place, because that way they kind of remind themselves of why they were interested in this, and it gets it fresh in their mind so that when I ask them, you know, if they're interested in pursuing something further, they seem to be more open to that.
Good one. Yeah. A lot of times I'll ask, how did you hear about us, or where? And there are a lot of people that heard about us on Hannity or one of the other talk shows. But that's a good one, Gary. Good. Anybody else have anything?
I'd like to make a comment on the continuous activity part. This is George.
Okay.
We're dealing with a backlog right now, so that's why it seems like there's a lot of work. But once we get the backlog taken care of, this, and we chip away at it, at least a couple times a week or so, check and see what, new volunteers we got. It'll be a lot smoother process and won't be such a buster, if you know what I mean. So,
yeah, that's a good point. That backlog, that's exactly right. Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything? Okay. All right, let's go on to the training program. Once again, this is the training program that we're developing, that we're going to put all these new district captains through. So, Rachel, you want to give us an update on the training program?
Okay. So basically, I think it was the last call that Dale put up the modules, which we're going to be going through in the training program. Basically,
I'm sorry.
Do you have
it? Wait a minute, I got your document here. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. So at this point, Module 1 and Module 2, which are the two, I think the two most important ones to get people at least in a provisionary status, to get them started, overview and background, and basic housekeeping / onboarding. Those will be completed, at least initially, by me, probably one-on-one with each district captain in the format, which I think we mentioned earlier, and you see all these videos and resources listed, where I will be, informing them that they need to watch certain videos or read certain materials on the website or on our leader site, and then have a conversation or a conference call with them to make sure that they've digested and understand, have any opportunity to ask questions. So once we get them through Module 1 and Module 2, they should have a thorough understanding of Convention of States, the basic legal ramifications of 501c4, specifics about how our state is organized, the training manual, Slack, and Citizen Builder basics, so that they at least understand what they're seeing on their district dashboard. That will be done by the 1st of the month, and we should be able to get new and existing district captains. I assume that just the existing district captains will be able to move through it much more quickly
right.
through those. And the next modules, we've made a little bit of a change on that. Not a change, but actually I think an improvement. So Module 3, Legislative, Module 4, Grassroots, and Module 5 is actually probably just going to be a comms team module, and may change the name a little bit. But what Dale and I decided to do in consultation with those support teams is that the best way to get everybody acclimated to not only the substance of those modules, but also the support teams, because we want the district captains to work with support teams, is to have Paul Phillips, Ken Kashuba, and George Ward put together some sort of presentation, or whether it's in writing or via video, that they would like to present to all the new district captains to introduce them to themselves, but also give them a sense of what the state plan is. So, you know, that way the new district captains have a face, or, you know, some connection with the person that they could reach out to for support on those tasks, but that they also have a general understanding of what our goals are in each of those sections for the state. So that's in progress, and I'm going to be working on those modules in collaboration with each support team. What I also will be adding on, which is not, again, this is a little bit updated, this sheet, which I haven't sent Dale an updated version. We're also going to want the SIA team to be introduced. We haven't finalized yet exactly what we may present to them, but obviously the SIA team is extremely important, and we want our new DCs to be comfortable and know who the SIA team is, how to reach out to them if they need help. And basically, I think that's it, Dale, unless I left anything else out.
No, I think that's pretty much it as to where we are right now. Anyone have any comments or questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
Dale, this is Ed. Maybe I'm being dense here. In the yellow block on your call status, what is LMT?
That stands for Leadership Management Tool.
Okay, thank you.
And that's where anyone that makes application for any position will appear on that report.
So,
Okay.
in other words, we can watch this thing to see if people are going to do what they said they would do and actually sign up and provide their contact information.
Well, I can, and George can. I'm not sure offhand. I don't think you have access to it, Ed.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying that this is how you will keep track of the progress we're making. Because
yes.
No matter the level people sign in at, they've got to go in through take action.
Right.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I just thought of a good point, Dale.
Oh, no, not Rodney. You can't? Okay.
Oh, I won't derail you. No, just based on what he said, I'd say that if somebody shows up in there, you probably ought to let people know that somebody did apply from, if you can figure it out, if it came from one of the phone calls, to let them know that
Okay,
that's working.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Good. All right. Let's get back to the agenda here. We want to wrap it up here. Our next call will be a week from tonight, February 20th, same time. And once again, we'll update the status report and provide you another update on the training program. Like I said, we're trying to get through all these calls and get through this backlog that the term that George used, and I think that's a very good term. Get through this backlog by the end of February as much as possible, at least. And like I've said, we're getting some good results from this. I hope you're experiencing the same thing. I really enjoy talking to people that are interested in what we're doing and have been following us and keeping tabs on what we're doing. It's really enjoyable to talk to them. So keep up the good work and get on those calls and get them done. and let's get this backlog out of the way, and we can then deal with the new ones, the current ones coming in, and stay on top of that. So anybody have anything else they want to say? Any other comments or questions? All right, folks. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Hey, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.